All right, everybody. Welcome in. This is our first Legacy Versus video. How you feeling, Cameron?
Uh, Excited. I'm playing High Tide, which, it's not a great deck by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm hopeful that it will give us some good interaction.
Yeah, and we wouldn't call it a budget deck per se, right? But it's definitely on the affordable end of Magic Online decks. Is that what you would say?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm playing the reset version. The most expensive, well, obviously Force of Wills are the most expensive part of it. Otherwise, it's Snapcaster Mage is like the second most expensive component.
So what are we talking, like 200 ticks, something like that?
Yeah, I would say under 200 ticks you could get this deck, and it's playable. It's fun. It keeps people on their toes.
To the surprise of no one, I'm playing Esper Stoneblade, the Jaceless version, because I don't have Jaces on Moto. I think it's very correct to play with them. So just know that caveat going in. So, yeah, Kim, you want to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, I love this hand. I'm going to keep it. We have some interaction here. Brainstorm's always really, really good. So we'll keep.
Mine's a snap keep. It's good against just about any deck. There's a lot of play here, so we're gonna keep as well.
All right. And I think what we do is on the main phase, we'll play an island and say go.
So right now, I mean, I don't know that in theory he's on high tide, and honestly, when I see a legacy player lead off with island, I think Merfolk first,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just slightly more common than high tide. It's also more budget friendly in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think I'm going to play against here, regardless, because he didn't lead off with a vial. I'm going to go ahead and start with the Thoughtseize once Cameron passes priority. There we go.
Yep.
I'm also super not worried about getting wastelanded. So we're going to go ahead and just grab an Underground Sea.
So this is right here, one element of my combo piece. I think the proper play is just to brainstorm here. See that for the most part, I'm okay with most of these getting taken away. I think I want to hide this and this, and then just let him take whatever.
So when he brainstorms in response to a Thoughtseize, I obviously know that this is likely a combo deck. Though at this point, I'd be a little surprised. And the turnabout, of course, is the dead giveaway that you're high tide. I'm going to take the turnabout.
Yep.
The other pieces here are pretty redundant between Impulse and Peer Through Depths, which are very close to the same card. So we'll take turnabout and go ahead and pass the turn.
All right. Once again, I think I'll just lead off with another island here. I don't really want to play the polluted delta and reset what I know is coming, so we're just going to leave that and pass turn.
Now for me, I know he's combo. It's important that I find some level of pressure. I know he's not likely to kill me next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, Cameron, you got to get...
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, yep.
I'm going to go ahead and Inquisition him here.
I think I'm okay with him taking whatever. I mean, obviously the meditate is pretty valuable, but I've got 3 other card draw spells, and I know what's coming up, and I'm not too worried.
So yeah, I'm definitely snap taking meditate here. It's by far the best card. The rest of this again is the pieces we knew. He was brainstorming to hide the meditate. So yeah, we'll go ahead and play our Glacial Fortress, leave it up. I'm looking to likely brainstorm next turn because playing a combo deck like this, he is essentially, eventually he's going to be able to kill me. Regardless of what counter spells I have to have pressure in some way, and my hand's been incredibly reactive thus far. So we're definitely going to brainstorm here on our main phase and see what we can find. Well, Swords to Plowshares is what the kids.
It's a great
a non-bow here, so that's gone. And gonna go ahead and ship this Glacial Fortress back as well. Then we'll ponder. Alright, so we found what we're looking for in some regard. So we're going to put that on top. We're not going to shuffle because we're going to play this Flooded Strand and shuffle with that.
Now we have some options here at the end of this turn here. I feel like I just start digging to find the rest of the combo pieces that I need. So I think first and foremost, I'm just going to play a Peer Through Depths. Find that's actually a really good card. We're going to hold on to that. And now I think I'm going to shuffle the rest of this away, and we'll go ahead and opt as well.
And again, we have no interest in interacting with any of these particular spells. I feel like, you know, if there was a point where we had pressure, then that's when we would start thinking about dealing with these cantrips on a counterspell level. But whenever we don't have anything in play, it seems a little bit silly to even attempt.
Sure. So yeah, I left that one card up on top. I feel like I'm going to need some sort of interaction here because I know he's playing blue. Obviously, he's going to be playing some sort of Spell Pierce or Force of Will or any sort of counter magic that can really stop me from going off. So we'll need that.
Okay, and yet again, we're firing off a Brainstorm here. We know a lot about what's on top of our deck already, but we're just trying to sculpt a slightly better hand here. Get an Underground. There's no way he's playing with Wasteland, so we don't really care about. No, we don't care about that. Just clicked on the wrong card. That was frightening.
Uh-oh.
That is good. Engineered Explosives is an interesting card against High Tide. It does have incidental value because you can blow up candelabras, though that doesn't come up very often. And we're going to go ahead and throw this Thoughtseize at him.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. Well, there is something I could do, and I think I want to do this just because it means if he forces it, he's just getting rid of additional cards in his deck for when I actually do go off. So we're going to just Flusterstorm this Thoughtseize right now. And we're going to do the same targets.
Yeah, we get the lovely Moto interface with Storm.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah.
I am not going to pay. I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to pay.
Okay, and so now we know that Thoughtseize, we're kind of good here. I think just casting an Impulse right now on end of, or I guess it's not the end of turn, but on his main phase here, and just finding something. And this is a really tough call. There's no pressure on the board, so I don't really want to keep the Snap. Meditate is really, really good, but I don't want to use it until I find the rest of the combo pieces. I think I take the Brainstorm and shuffle everything else, or put everything else on the bottom past the turn.
Well, it's actually my turn. So.
It is, yeah. Sorry, I did this on the. There we go. Oh, all right. I think we just passed the turn. Keep on holding off. We're sitting at 19 life. He hasn't been doing any sort of real interaction with me yet, or putting any pressure on, so I'm feeling okay. Yeah, I guess we're just going to let that resolve. I'm totally fine with him looking at the top card of my library if needed.
I'm definitely not going to look at the top card of his library. Ooh. So that was a slight misplay on my part. I, for whatever reason, thought it was turn 5 and kept the land. But, again, I think you have to somehow slam a Jace there. We have to have some kind of pressure. Our hand has been very reactive. We've resolved many ponders and brainstorms, and we have a good defense up, but that's about the best I can say about our hand
Mm.
at the moment.
So this is an interesting brainstorm, and I'm trying. This is tough. I think what I want to do, because we're gonna need the extra land here, and I don't think we can go off next turn. Um, but I think what I want to do is put the turnabout down first, and then play that, and then we'll pass. Or, yeah, not pass, but on our main phase here. Now we'll play the polluted delta. And this is interesting. We have 4 cards. 4 cards is really the minimum of what you want to have in order to go off with High Tide. But I think right now we're sitting kind of safe. I have that brainstorm, so I can at least hide the combo pieces if I needed to. But the beautiful thing about High Tide is we just kind of sit and wait until we need to.
Yeah, I'm not inclined to plus Jace at any point. First of all, he's got a million cantrips in his deck. Secondly, we don't really benefit as much as we do when we Jace Storm. So we have a lot of options here. I'm going to go ahead and fire this card off. Our life is super duper irrelevant in this particular matchup. Oh boy. There are creatures in my deck. I promise.
So we're sitting pretty good right now. I think I do just want to know what the top 3 cards are of my deck. So I think at the end of turn here, we're going to brainstorm and just see what we have. And that is a freaking sweet hand. And I think this next turn, we will probably go off. So, but obviously Curtis doesn't know that, but we'll keep it that way.
I'm going to discard a scrub hands. Some great commentary by me there.
Okay, so now we have, this is excellent. So playing this, we have 5 islands, we have the High Tide, we have Reset, we know what's coming up if we need to, and we have the Cunning Wish. So I'm sitting pretty happy right now, and I think we just keep on passing the turn.
Let's see here. So, because my deck has decided not to, I'm going to have to start pulsing Jace just to try and get some kind of win condition going here. We're going to put that at the bottom of his library.
And that's totally fine on our part, so.
Yeah, and then we're going to just keep moving along here. This is where we reach the grindy phase where I feel like I can't win. You know, there's no Vendilion Click in my list, and this is the kind of matchup where Vendilion Click is an excellent, excellent thing to have in your deck.
Mm-hmm. So we're sitting so good with the combo pieces right now. I feel like I'm just a little soft with the card draw element. So I think what we're going to do is just pass. And if he thought seizes us, that's when we'll just go ahead and try to go off.
Okay, so actually have a card that can provide some pressure, so that's nice, I suppose. Again, life totals are irrelevant. I still am going to get a Batter Skull, just because I think it kills him more quickly than a Jit at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of move forward from there. I think if I'm going to kill him, it's still probably going to be with the Jace, not the Stoneforge Mystic, but...
Okay, so I love having this additional card draw mechanic right here. We are totally set now, I think, to go off. So I've been sitting around long enough. I mean, he has a full 7 cards. Obviously, he hasn't... I think he has probably a Spell Pierce, probably something else like the Force of Will to back that up. But... I think it's time that we go ahead and start doing this.
Okay. Swamp. Of course, we're going to attempt a Thoughtseize here.
Okay, and so now is the time to try this. So we'll go ahead and lead off with the High Tide. My only concern is that he probably has multiple Force of Wills or the Counterspell, which is totally a bummer. But let's see. So we'll force this. Removing the Impulse. And now we just wait and see. Because there's nothing I can do after this. So, yeah. Well, that's a total bummer, but there's this, you know, I felt like it was going to be happening no matter what. So
that was just, I happen to have the right combination of.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I think I still take the Cunning Wish. But that's really
it's a tough one.
It's either Meditate or Cunning Wish. And I think Cunning Wish is the one that we have the biggest trouble with. So we're just going to go ahead and get rid of that. Going to look at the top card of your library. Jace.
And I didn't see, did that go on the bottom or top?
It stayed on top.
All right. So it's something we don't want. Sitting at 18 life. I mean, it was a total bummer that we weren't able to do any real interaction that turn. But the good thing is that it at least thinned his hand a little bit, which is good on our part.
All right. So obviously we're going to put Batterskull into play. And doing the old double angle attack here. Again, Jace is still the not even close the best thing for me to be doing here. We already know he has one of those. However, we're still going to put on the bottom. I think it's just too good. I'm going to main phase Brainstorm, hoping to find another piece of interaction. Not what I had in mind.
So we have 2 more turns before I think this game is just completely and totally over. Man. And this is pretty good. I think we just pass the turn. Wait one more turn before that Jace can go off, and yeah, just go, I guess. Hopeful that he doesn't have the Counterspell or Force of Will.
Yeah, on my part, I mean, my draw was ideal, and now it is very much not. However, I know that if I can somehow get through the turn, that we're good. His hand it's got some very powerful cards, but it's a very, draw dependent. So we'll see what happens here.
All right, so we're going to, on his draw step here, try to go off. And we'll go ahead and try it. If it doesn't happen, I mean, this is where we at least meditate, see what we can possibly have, but the game is over if this doesn't resolve. So, yeah, totally fine with him paying the 2 on that, or paying the 2 on that.
All right, and I'm going to hit the old F6 here.
All right, so this is the part on High Tide where we just really feel bad for the opponent playing because, yeah. Whoops. Okay, so the High Tide resolves.
Yeah. You might want to let it resolve first, right?
Yeah. Yep, there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and cast Or meditate. Not super great at all. In fact, we have just lost the game because that meditate gained us nothing, which is a total bummer.
So you fizzled.
Yeah, totally fizzled right there. I mean, there's nothing we can do. So, yeah, we're gonna pass the turn and lose the game.
So I ultimate J,
Yeah.
obviously. And I'll attack you just for giggles.
There we go. Yeah, just to add injury to insult. All right. So that's the
Oh, did you F6 or something? Oh, no, the meditate turn. That's right.
yeah.
Why do I get another turn? So you're super dead. You ready to go to game 2?
Yep. Let's go ahead and go to game 2. And we'll just draw some cards because I'm curious. Yeah, there's nothing there. So bummer.
All right, sideboarding. Now this is where the deck changes quite a bit. In Esper Stoneblade, there have been a lot of changes. There can be a lot of changes post-board. Obviously, Flusterstorm's coming in. Obviously, Meddling Mage and Notion Thief. And now we kind of get in this weird spot where there's a lot of things that aren't good, but we don't want to be in a position where we're putting in sideboard cards just because.
So obviously I know that Curtis is probably going to be sideboarding in Flusterstorms if his deck has them in the sideboard. And he's probably, going to be casting something like Meddling Mages, Notion Thief, things that are going to just slow down my combo completely, right? Maybe even Chalice, if he has that. He might even have that in the sideboard. I don't know. So obviously Cunning Wish is huge in that sense where I can go and fetch for this stuff. But I'm almost tempted to put in a Wipe Away in the main just in case something were to happen where I need an out and I don't have the Cunning Wish. So I'm going to bring that in, leave the Cunning Wishes in as well, and then maybe side out this and one of the other, maybe another Meditate, although, yeah, that's hard. We'll get rid of one of the, there we go. We'll submit that.
It's worth pointing out for me, being on the draw in this matchup is bad. But not in the sense of like a Delver matchup or something like that. But it does complicate the issue quite a bit because he's just up tempo on me in this combo deck, and we're playing a slower speed game.
Yeah. I mean, this is a good hand. It seems like, I only have one land, which I'm kind of worried about, but having the Brainstorm there is not a huge deal. This is a tough keep, I think, but I'm going to keep it.
I am also on a very tough keep. I think this hand is very, 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 very borderline. However, I think I have to keep it, and likely knowing that if there is any removal on his part, it's Echoing Truth or something like that, not Lightning Bolt. So I'm pretty safe here. So we're going to go ahead and keep this, even though I'm not feeling great about it. I think going down cards against him is very bad.
We'll lead off with the island, and then, yeah, just maybe Brainstorm at the end of his turn.
Oof, that was a bad draw. Okay. We'll stick with this. Not exactly tickled with that draw.
Anytime we don't see a black card is good, which means we're not getting Thought Seized or Inquisition, so... Ooh, and I love that. It's really, really good. So let's put this and that back, and then we'll draw one of those. we'll play the Polluted Delta and say go.
Well, that makes things, I guess, slightly better, though not exciting. We have a plan now. It's a bad plan. We're still light on interaction, but we have to do it. Now, I think if he has a force, he's snapping this off relatively quickly.
Yep, we are. So, well, I think the first we do is maybe Impulse first. Just to see if we have another blue card that we're more willing to get rid of. And yeah, I think ooh, this is really good. So we'll keep the Force of Will. And we'll just double force that, I think. Oh.
All right, well. Need a fetch land quite badly here. Even then, that might not be enough because of the spot we're in.
I'm really happy right now. I think we just lead off with this, and at the end of turn, we'll snap in another Brainstorm.
Okay, Ponder. It's not terrible. We will definitely draw that Flooded Strand.
Okay, so I need to protect at least one of these cards, if not two. So we'll go ahead and just snap off our Snapcaster here. And we'll cast Brainstorm.
Well, I'm pretty excited the fact that I got to some black mana. I still feel like I'm very behind the 8-ball. He's spent a lot of time kind of putting together his hand, and yeah, we're open to thoughts. So, see a whole lot of nothing.
Mm-hmm. This is really tough because like these three cards are just so extremely valuable, and it's so tough. But I think I am okay with him taking the Meditate.
By that token, I will take the Meditate. I'm not really too concerned about Flusterstorm with my current hand.
Okay. So we know what's coming now, and so we don't really want to play that other Flooded Strand, or, you know, at least hold on to the Flooded Strand for the conceivable future.
Cameron with the no attack.
Oh, man. Like a classic High Tide player, I guess,
yeah,
right?
You're like, what?
And this one's tough. Thoughtseize. Obviously, he's going to take that reset. But there's no other real pressure happening, so I think I'm okay with him taking that.
So that's a snap for us. Player land.
Now we have the real pressure. That was smart on his part, because if he had cast that Stoneforge beforehand, obviously we would have played the Flusterstorm. Oh. Okay, so we know what's coming up here, so we're drawing into that, and we're just going to pass the turn. Well, actually, first on the main phase, second main, we'll play another island and say go.
Okay, so it's a couple of different options here. I think we definitely have to go in this direction, be very proactive. He'll likely, I think he'll Flusterstorm this, but we'd rather him Flusterstorm it now, and then be down to one card, and then I have some pressure on the board in the form of Batterskull.
Yeah, and yeah, this is just a snap Flusterstorm. Do the same targets. And wait for Moto to do its thing.
Okay, so that kind of puts us where we want to be. I'll sit back, hope to flash in Batterskull, and kind of go from there. That will be the plan.
We pray he doesn't have a Cabal therapy. And now there's a clock, and we just have to kind of just wait and hope that no other real card or hand disruption things happen.
I assume he'll trade snap for snap here. Which is fine. And play Jace.
Yeah. That's a Jace.
We're gonna Jace Storm in hopes of finding another interesting piece here. So let's see here. Put that. And pass the turn. Pretty happy with how this hand has developed. It's been quite bad. I think, Cameron, when you see the hand, you're going to be pretty disappointed that you let this one slip.
Yeah.
My hand was bad. But you are getting a little flooded as well. So.
I am getting flooded. And, that's the thing with like any combo deck, I feel. I mean, Thoughtseize and Cabal Therapy, Inquisition, all of those are just, incredibly good cards against us, or against the High Tide deck.
So I think we're going to go ahead and name High Tide here. You can make an argument for Reset or Meditate. But I think High Tide is the card that we are most likely to lose to. We're also going to go ahead and Brainstorm and find a whole lot of not interesting, but...
Yeah, him brainstorming is just like the worst thing that could happen for us. It just means he's digging further and further through his deck, finding counter magic, finding answers against the combo, and we just have to sit here and take it, which is just a total bummer.
Okay. So if nothing happens, he's dead next turn with Xaxes.
Yeah, and another island, and that is... Yeah. So
before you concede out of this, because my recorder's up, what are your thoughts on the matchup? Do you feel like it's good? Do you feel like it's difficult?
Yeah. I mean, if you were playing, I think anything, if you're playing the Jeskai version of this deck, I feel like I could just kind of fly and have an easy time, because I can deal with counter magic, but having counter magic and hand disruption is got to be the hardest thing for me. Like, I mean, you can just eat away at my hand, and if I just don't have the proper counter for that turn, the game is really over.
Do you feel like your matchup is better if you were playing the traditional Candelabra deck, or would it be no different?
Yeah, because I feel like the Candelabra deck it's a little bit more consistent, and it has better card draw spells because everything's more sorcery speed. You're playing Ponders and Preordains, which I think 1-mana cantrips that can dig through your deck better are a heck of a lot better than 2 mana. As much as I love Impulse and love Peer Through Depths, I mean, playing 2 mana sometimes can be really, really rough, where like you may have to pass a turn because you just don't have the mana up for it. So, an Opt is good, but I mean, an Opt, I think I'd still rather have like a Preordain over an Opt any day.
Yeah, from my perspective, I feel like this is one of the combo decks I'm better against. Storm, because it can kill me so much more quickly and I have a difficult time setting up, is a little more difficult with my construction of the deck. I think it's also worth saying that I feel like Jace Vryn's Prodigy in this deck makes the matchup better, because I'm able to flashback discard spells, more regularly, and really impact your hand in that way. So, okay. Well, versus video, Cameron, how do you feel?
I'm loving it. I mean, obviously I had no competition, but there's some interesting things that happened. I at least got to play a High Tide and go off with the Meditate. It just, nothing happened with the Meditate. So, it was good.
Right on, man. Okay. Well, we'll check you guys soon.